Hey everyone, it's an aging zombie here. In today's video, I am finally getting around to completing the main quest for the latest zombies map, The Reckoning. Now, typically for these videos, as I'm going through the steps, I like to compartmentalize them so that when I'm completing certain things, you know it's for this specific task. However, there will be two things that pop up that will be kind of out of order, and I'll explain those when I get there. But for right now, I'm going to kind of stay in the starting room. I'm going to make it to round 8, because the first thing we're going to do is pack-a-punch like always. But I like to stay in here and gather up salvage and essence, so that by the time I make it to pack-a-punch, I can already pack-a-punch my gun once. Alright, so here is the first special thing we need to do that is out of order. So we do need to collect some Klaus parts, and we get the arms from these special rounds. So if you shoot off the arm and then shoot the guy, you can see that his arm drops. We're going to go ahead and pick that up. Now we do need 2 arms, and unfortunately I've tried multiple times. 2 do not spawn in the same special round, so you'll have to wait for another special round to get the second arm. Alright, made it to round 8, got 1 zombie left here, so gonna start making my way over to the pack-a-punch room. Alright, these are the last of the crystals here. There we go. Go ahead and pack-a-punch my gun, and now the first thing I'm gonna do is work on getting the wonder weapon. Now, I do have a very detailed guide, or a more detailed guide at least, on my channel about how to unlock the wonder weapon, so for this, I'm just going to kind of quickly go through it, and the first thing we need to do is make it over to Mutant Research. Now, as I make it into Mutant Research here, I'm also going to now do the second kind of out-of-order thing. There's going to be a special zombie that spawns in there, and this is not him, this is my round zombie. And what I found is if you enter in here, and then come back out, that gets this guy to spawn. And you're going to go ahead and kill him, and he will drop this key card, so we're going to go ahead and grab that. Come over to this here, open it up with the key card, and grab this vial in here. This DNA vial, it is used for basically the end of the Easter egg steps. Alright, now for the wonder weapon. So we're going to come over here and read the word here, abhorrent. So we need the first letter of that screen tied with the second letter of this screen over here, guile, so AG, and find that element. And that would be silver, so 47. We're going to come on over here and enter that in, 047. If you have a 2-digit number, you just pre-fill it with a 0. And now we need to charge this cyst with some vermin and then zombies. So it'll be 3 vermin first and then 3 zombies. Now the nice thing is the spawn rate of vermin in here is fairly high. And the other thing is, if you notice, I have not popped my hidden power yet. That is for a specific reason. You want to damage the vermin and zombies, you don't want to kill them. And if my weapon is too powerful, obviously I will be killing them. So I'm keeping my gun intentionally low powered. Now, of course, vermin aren't spawning. What the heck? Alright, there's a vermin. Alright, we're going to go ahead and switch over to select fire, damage him. There he goes. That's 1. Alright, the third vermin is here. Let's go ahead and damage him. There he goes. Alright, so now I need 3 zombies to go in there. Alright, I think I can do the third one now. There he goes. Alright, so now that this is ready, we're going to go ahead and grab this cyst from here, and now we need to go charge it in the quantum computing. Alright, so down here in quantum computing, there's 3 specifically of these like mushroomy tree things where you need to charge the cyst. The first one being right here. You notice its health is being drained. You do have to avoid these piles of acid that it throws, and then also obviously the zombie. And there it goes. That's the first one done. The second one is right around the corner here. Alright, second one done, and then the third one right over here. This is the easiest one to drain. It's the easiest to avoid the zombie. Alright, there we go. And now we need to make our way over to entity containment. Alright, now in here we need to kind of power up the entity, so we're going to go ahead and interact with this computer here. There's 3 more we need to interact with, so this one here, and the last one. Oop, you got in my way, bud. Right there, which will now spawn an Uber Klaus, and we need to remove the 2 shields that are on his shoulders, and then draw him close to the entity containment. Oh no, I accidentally flipped around. That's alright. Alright, so there are the shields gone. We need to bring him over to this pad. Alright, there he goes, and that will now turn into the Forsaken, and we need to just defeat the Forsaken. It will be another Uber Klaus style enemy, and I have found a little secret. If you come over here by the elevator, there is an insta-kill right there, so I'm going to go ahead and trigger that. Helps kind of take out the Forsaken a little quicker. And there we go, easy peasy at legendary rarity. And he'll drop this orb here, so we're going to go ahead and interact with that. The Cyst will fly in, and then that's how we get our Wonder Weapon. And now normally I'd say, alright, now time to upgrade the Wonder Weapon, but we actually don't need to upgrade the Wonder Weapon for this main Easter egg. So let me first work through this special round, and then get the next round down to 1 zombie, and I'll start going over the next steps. Oh, and that's right, I need the arm. There is the second arm from this special round. Alright, so I've got this round cleaned up. So the next thing I'm going to work on is getting the Teleportation Lab unlocked. And the first thing we're going to need to do for that is come over here into Mutant Research. And there is this centrifuge over right next to this Mangler. Going to go ahead and interact with that. It will open up, and then it will pick up this syringe. And we need to go fill this syringe with blood from a very specific zombie. Now this special zombie is in the Pack-a-Punch room, and he is floating in this beam here. And what you need to do is jump into the beam on either end, and then you will turn into this orb, and you need to navigate left, right, and bump into him, and he'll drop out. Now from time to time, you'll see, just like that right there, he will disappear, and then after like 10-ish seconds or so, he'll reappear. Oh, there he is already, so we're going to go ahead and jump into this beam, go left, there we go. And you can see he fell on the ground, so we're going to go up to him, interact, and you'll see now the syringe is full of blood. Now we're going to bring this vial, or this syringe I should say, back over to the centrifuge. Go ahead and insert it there, which will spawn this Mangler. Some dialogue will happen. We're essentially taking the DNA of that doctor and putting it in here. After the dialogue happens, we do need to fight this Mangler, and he will drop a very special mutant injection that we need to pick up. Now during the fight, this guy will also spawn in along with toxic zombies, so just beware of that. You do need to work through them as well. I guess you don't need to, but it's nice to have them killed before you move on to the next step. Alright, here we go. The fight has started. Now, legendary rarity, this should be pretty quick and easy. There we go. So he drops this Fowler mutant injection, so we're going to pick that up and don't use it. And now I'm going to clean up these special, or the toxic zombies, and then also this disciple that's now spawned. Alright, now we're going to take this special mutant injection, and we're going to come up here in entity containment, and there is this scanner on the wall here. Now if you try and scan yourself, nothing will happen. It will give an error. So you go ahead and use the mutant injection, and then go ahead and interact with the scanner. You can see the timer on this mutant injection is very quick. And after it's scanning, this door will open up. Alright, so this new portal is opened up here, so we're going to go ahead and enter in here. And that's that step done. Now the next thing we need to do is work on getting the password for this computer here. And we need a 4-digit key for this, and the first digit we're going to get is actually in here on this terminal. You're going to go ahead and interact with this folder, and there's 2 numbers we need from this. The first number is 3 next to the word scarf, and then we need the month from the archived date. So for this one, it'll be 3 and 8. Now, the other folders that we get the sets of numbers from are all right around the director's office. So we're going to come over here, and the first one is right outside. Well, potentially, yep, right here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and interact. This one is 2 and 12. Next one sometimes is on his desk. Don't see it here, so we'll go on to this next room. Sometimes it is right here. Other times it's on this desk. Here's another one. So we're going to go ahead and interact. 1 and 7. And then lastly, we'll come down here on this desk right here. We've got 4 and 9. If it's not there, it could also be on one of these. I've also seen it on this table. Now, to get the code, you take for each folder, you arrange them by the earliest month to the latest month, and then take the number that is from that folder. So for my instance, the first month, the earliest month was July, and that was number 1, and then so on. So for my code, it is 1342. So we get access granted here. It'll restart the facility, and then after a couple seconds here, it should say, yep, facility's online. So that is that step done. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is grab a brain from a terminal in quantum computing. Now, you will need Melee Macchiato for this step. Now, the nice thing is this room already has Melee Macchiato in here. Yep, there it is. All right, there's Melee Macchiato. I went the wrong way. And then the terminal is right here, so we're going to go ahead and punch that. And then we grab this brain, and now we are on a timed event. And there is no timer actually shown, but you will notice that the brain is kind of reducing in size. And we need to bring it back to that teleportation lab. Now, another thing, do not switch your weapons once you pick up the brain. Otherwise, the brain will go away. And if you accidentally do that, or you accidentally make an error making it over to the teleportation lab, you have to flip the round, and then you will be able to pick up the brain again. But we're going to make it into here, go ahead and insert it into this terminal, and there's that step done. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is fill a container with zombie souls. And how this kind of works, it's kind of like a little mini game. So we've got this kind of counter up here. We need the counter to at least reach 1,000. So every zombie kill will be 10. And then there are going to be 4 quantum vermin that spawn that are worth 400. And you need to use your wonder weapon to kill them. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the round here, and then we'll start this. And to start it, you hit this red button here. Alright, we got a bunch of zombies in here, so I'm going to go ahead and hit that button. Come out here, so one of the vermin always spawns up there. Go ahead and kill him, and then right there. One usually comes on the ground. And I'm going to go ahead and now just start killing zombies. So I was a little shy. Alright, so I'll have to do this again, so you'll have to flip the round and give this another try. So I guess really I missed one of the quantum vermin. That's the first time I missed one of the quantum vermins. He was up there. I didn't realize till the end. And so I missed him. So I missed the score mark. So let's go ahead and flip this round here. Alright, let's go ahead and hit this button. Whoop. 3, where's the 4th one? Are you up there? You are up there. Alright, there's that 4th one. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Alright, I'm on a special round here, but that's okay. So I did complete the task, so we got over 1,000, and we're going to go ahead and interact with our wonder weapon out and grab that orb. And now we need to take this back to that teleportation lab. Now you don't want to shoot the wonder weapon. Now you can switch weapons, that's fine. You won't lose this charge, but just do not shoot the wonder weapon yet. Alright, so now in the teleportation lab with the charge shot of this wonder weapon, go ahead and shoot that portal. And that step is complete. Alright, now this is the step where we need the Klaus parts. We need to assemble Klaus and get him over to the Teleportation Lab. Now we already have the 2 arms, but now we need the legs, which can be found here in Klaus Assembly. Now, there's a few spots that they spawn in, and so I just kind of run around until I find them. Sometimes it's over here, sometimes it's up on this. I'm trying not to flip the round just yet. Alright, here is one of the legs, so we're going to go ahead and interact with that. Alright, and here is the other one, so we're going to go ahead and pick that up. So yeah, there's a couple spots where they spawn, so you really just gotta kind of move around until you find it, but they're always going to be in this Android assembly. And then we're going to come over here, also in Android assembly, go ahead and place those parts. And now we need an Uber Klaus. Now luckily, the first Uber Klaus comes on round 16, and that's why I wasn't flipping that special round, because I wanted him to come in here. And we need him to shoot his charge shot into this room. Well, I guess not just in the room. We needed to basically charge up Klaus here. This part is a little tricky just because that play area is fairly small. So sometimes I do struggle to get him to shoot in here. Especially with all the zombies trying to get me. Oh, come on, come on. Shoot, shoot, shoot. No, I have to get out of here. Ah! Sometimes it's easier than others, you know, because I've attempted this a couple times now. Sometimes, yeah, it's super easy to get him to shoot. There we go, come on. There we go, Klaus online. Alright, so now that he's online, I'm going to go ahead and take out this Uber Klaus. Don't need him anymore. Alright, so now this guy is typing away on this computer. And from my understanding, we just need to flip the round, and once you flip the round, after a little bit of time, he will start to move, and you need to follow him. And you actually need to be pretty close to him as he is moving around, otherwise he just stops. Alright, there he goes. He's starting to move. So you gotta be pretty close to him, otherwise see he'll just stop. So just stay on him. And he's gonna make his way down here, and this will always spawn in. And we're gonna go ahead and interact with the S.A.M trial, and he will start interacting with it. And now you just need to complete the S.A.M trial. Well, actually, from my understanding, you don't need to fully complete it, but you do need to get some progress on it. I'm going to try and keep the round zombie alive here, if I can. Alright, well, I failed at keeping the round zombie alive. That's okay. Now, once you complete this, he'll go off on his own. I'm going to go ahead and grab what we can from here. Now where he ends up is this teleportation lab, and once he is in here, this step is completed. Alright, so the next thing we need is a specific zombie head, and if you come over into mutant research and we look down right here, we do a charge shot with the wonder weapon on that zombie that you can see. You'll notice that this little item drops, and that is his head. And we're going to go ahead and pick that up. Now this next step is interesting. So there's 3 ways to complete it. We need to clean the zombie head, and to do that we need one of these buckets, and we need to fill it with water from the sprinklers. Now if you see here, as you're moving this around, there are sprinklers that are currently on. Now I have lucked out with that. A lot of times they're not on. So we're gonna move this to under the sprinkler. There we go, it's all full up. Now, if you did not luck out like I did, like I said, there's 3 ways to go about doing this. So one way is luck. There are plenty, well not plenty, but there are multiple spots around the map in which there are these buckets and then also the sprinkler system. Now, the second way to get this bucket is kind of like the guaranteed way. So it is this specific room, putting a bucket under one of these, and if you come to this zombie spawn window, this fire or smoke detector here, if you throw an explosive or a Molotov, you'll see it will automatically activate the sprinkler system. And the last way, which is kind of a cheeky way of doing it, is actually you can kind of get this set up from the very beginning. So before you go through the metal detectors, you can see that there is a bucket here, and so you can go ahead and move this one, and you'll also notice that there are sprinklers. And if you've ever noticed on this map, as soon as you go through the metal detector, the explosion triggers, and it also then triggers the sprinkler system. So you can actually kind of set this up from the very beginning, but if you don't, that's fine. Like I said, there's these two other ways you can go about doing it. Now, to actually complete this step, after all that explanation, we're going to go ahead and insert the head into the bucket there. And now this is kind of like a soul box, so we need to go ahead and kill zombies that are glowing purple like that and fill him up. You can pick him up and it will act as a soul box on you. However, you now can't sprint. You can drop the head. Just be careful. Remember where you dropped him. And also, if you notice, he just kind of moves. So sometimes I've had him accidentally like fall off the map. So just be cautious of that if you drop him down. Now, the longer you hold on to him, you're going to kind of start getting this like psychedelic effect. And there will be this kind of shadowy zombie thing following you. And be cautious because he does damage you. And of course, I'm in this special round. I don't think the special round fills it. Oh, I think it does actually. I'm seeing that they're glowing purple. Oh, there's that shadowy thing. Alright, there we go. See, he kind of follows you around. We're going to go ahead and take this zombie head to the Teleportation Lab. Well, actually, I'm going to continue filling the head up out here. It's a much larger play space. I'm going to go ahead and drop him here. When you drop him, you'll notice that the kind of shadowy figure stops following you. But I'm going to monitor their head, and I kind of just go until there's usually like a prompt, like a voice dialogue from the zombie head. That's kind of how I know it's full. Alright, there it is, from Dr. Hawkins. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the head. Alright, so now that he's full, we're in the teleportation lab. We're going to go up to the portal, interact, and that will place the head in there. Now, if you try and do this too early and the head is not fully charged, you'll just end up going through the portal and it drops you over the starting area. So if that's the case, that just means you didn't fully charge it up. So just kill some more zombies until it's fully charged. Alright, now the next thing we need to do is fill these here. We need to insert these devices. Now the devices themselves are in these things here. So these vacuum seal devices. So we're going to go ahead and pick that up. And now it's one vacuum seal device per one of those containers. Here's another container right here that we'll pick up later. And we want to go around the map, and we need to find, there are now these kind of floating objects that are highlighted in like a bluish purple hue. Ah, here's one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and throw that at it. And then we're going to go ahead and pick it up, and we got vacuum seal device 1. So we need to do 4 in total, so 3 more. Alright, here's a vacuum seal device. Now, the nice thing is there seems to be more vacuum seal devices and these objects than are needed. So just kind of run around until you get the correct number. And also, if you notice, these things do move. If you get too close to them, they start to move, and then they will settle down. So we're going to go ahead and throw that one. Grab that. This one's nice. Okay, so here is the vacuum seal device, and right next to it, there's number 3, so just one more. Alright, here's another one over in Android Assembly. So now let's just find one of these objects. Alright, here's the last of these objects. Go ahead and throw that. Pick it up. Alright, there's the 4th one. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and insert the devices here.
Yes.
And then we got this ready and active. It starts this little lockdown sequence, and we need to interact with these little buttons. So there's the first one there. There's one here, and one right here. Now, the order that you interact with them is random, and then there's also like a bit of time in between them. So you interact with that first one, and then a little time will pass, and you just have to listen. There's like a beeping sound that'll happen, and that will tell you one's ready, and you just have to run over towards it. Oh, here we go. There we go.
It's important to maintain a positive attitude. Even when you...
Alright, here's the last one. Go ahead and flip that, and there we go.
That's a very inviting enemy.
Alright, well at this point you are boss ready. So, well, you can start the final encounter. So if you go through the portal, it starts the final encounter. If you're not ready, if you don't have all your perks, Pack-a-Punch all the way up, your rarity, anything like that, any extra equipment you want or need, now is the time to get that done. So I'm going to go ahead and get Pack-a-Punch 3. Alright, I think I'm all set here. I've got Pack-a-Punch 3, max rarity. I'm going to go ahead and go with smoke grenades on this. I saw a strategy with that. And then I've also got the death machine. So we're going to go ahead and start the encounter. And now when you get into here, this final boss fight has a choice. You either help Richtofen or S.A.M. And one is definitely harder than the other. I am going to choose to help Richtofen on this. Alright, now there is a couple things we need to do, two things in particular that we need to do before the final boss fight. So we've got this little elevator here. Now if you help out Richtofen, zombies spawn here, and if you help out S.A.M, Klauses spawn here. But then after this, everything is the same. So we need to come over here, and we need to fill a couple of these soul boxes. Now these soul boxes go a little quicker than normal. Alright, that first one is done. So we'll move on to the second one, which is right here. Alright, that one's done. So the last one over here. Alright, that one is done. So we're going to head on back to the lift. Now this next area, there's going to be these like ether lights, and some of them are going to be covered by crystals. So you just go ahead and destroy the crystals. And it's random which ones are covered with crystals, so really just move around the play space until you find all of the crystals. So see, there's a crystal right there, so we're going to go ahead and shoot that one. That one looks fine, no crystal on there. Cleared. Oh, there's a crystal. Now do be a little careful. A lot of zombies do spawn in here, so it can be pretty hectic, so don't disregard the zombies. Alright, so that is completed. Alright, now, part of this, what I've seen is apparently as soon as she comes out, you can actually start damaging her, and having this death machine is kind of good for that. Now, at some point, she becomes immune. There she is, immune.
Perhaps you could internalize that rage?
And now, the boss fight begins. Well, this is my first attempt at this boss fight. I tried Richtofen first, and failed pretty miserably. Okay, and now apparently from this phase, ouch, ouch. Apparently smoke grenades work pretty well, but apparently I failed at that. Alright, so now after that laser phase, these things open up for critical spots and you're able to damage her. Now she's back to being immune. Alright, this part here, so we're going to go under her and just shoot away. Be cautious of the zombies though. Oh, I just realized I accidentally bought concussion grenades. That's why it didn't work. Oh, that's a big fail on my part. That's okay. So what you can do is, if you just hide behind an object, you'll be safe from the attack. Alright, now she's vulnerable. Normally, if you have smokes, you can hide in the smoke and she stops her attack, and then you're able to actually also then shoot at those vulnerable parts. Alright, there we go. Did some good damage there, I think.
I bet you feel better already.
Alright, got that broken. I think I can actually now... Nope. Oop, I want to get under here. Ooh, alright, I think I can... Damage, yes, alright, big here. Just taking this nice and slow, dodging that big laser attack. Also having to worry about zombies on the ground, but they're not too terrible so far. And then as she is moving through that portal, you can damage her as well. Alright, and that should be first phase done. So now we've got a S.A.M trial, and we do need to try and complete these.
You were way over your pay grade.
Alright, there we go. I was able to get legendary on that. So apparently if you get legendary, you do get a random perk. Luckily, I already have all my perks. Where's she coming in from? There we go. She's coming in. Apparently, you can also damage her. Ooh, hello, zombies. Alright, there we go. Little areas are opened up. Whoop. That was terrible. So in this second phase, as she's doing the spinning attack, she moves around the map, so you can't really just run straight to the center to dodge it. It's a little more random and sporadic, so gotta be a little bit more careful. But during this phase, she is vulnerable, so it's good to get shots at her. Alright, open up those portholes for me. There we go. Damage away. Alright, she's teleporting away, I think. Nope. Yep, okay. Can damage her a little bit. Perfect.
Is this my life?
Ooh, I just saw a Casimir on the ground. It's accidentally screwed up with my tacticals. Go back and try and grab that. Where was it? It's right here. Yes, that's going to be wonderful. Alright, finish this attack. Yes, there we go. Woo, get out of there. There comes this attack. Perfect, I'll be able to damage after this. So I found that just moving around during this phase is better, a little better than trying to hide. Alright, big damage, let's go. Oh, don't follow me! Ah! Alright, she's going away. Can do damage here. Alright, we got another S.A.M trial to work through. Killfest. I don't remember what this one is. Kill zombies. That's pretty easy. I'm pretty good at just killing zombies. Killing my own namesake. These ones are pretty tough to get legendary. My goodness. 9 seconds. Can I do it? Come on. Yes, let's go. Alright, Sam, where are you coming in from?
Did you miss me? Because I won't miss you.
Get that damage as she's coming in. Ooh, what's over here? Oh yeah, that random perk that I don't really need.
What could I have done to prove myself?
Alright, so I've got... I think I like broke something on her because I think I can just damage her now. She's not... Ooh, hello.
Do traitors always land on their feet?
Alright. Now I did for one of my perks, I forget which one it is, but I put on the augment that negates fall damage just for this point. So that if you forget to parachute or if you float too long in the air, apparently she starts damaging you. So I put on that augment that stops fall damage from affecting you. Alright, open up. Don't want to get killed by the zombies. So yeah, this has really just been a game of patience, or a boss fight of patience. Overall, not too bad so far. Really just wait until she's vulnerable and then start attacking. So vulnerable during this phase here, after she shoots that red beam, and then when she's teleporting away from the map and teleporting in. And luckily, these shock things that land on the ground don't do a whole lot of damage. Alright, she's teleporting away, do some damage. Alright, maybe as she's entering in the play space or whatever next attack phase where she's vulnerable, I might be able to get this done here. Alright, as she's coming in, can I do it? Gotta be careful. Oh, yep, don't want to get stuck there. Come on, give me that opening. There it is. Yeah.
Welcome to the party.
Alright, well there we have it. So that is Reckoning main Easter egg quest completed. Now yes, there is a second path to go down. You can go and help S.A.M, in which case you will fight Richtofen. But yeah, I did give that one a try and I made it past the first phase pretty easily. But the second phase, oh my gosh. So that one's definitely going to take me a couple more tries to get through. But that S.A.M one, fighting S.A.M, yeah, pretty easy. Time consuming for sure. You really just kind of got to keep moving and wait for those vulnerability stages and just put damage on her. The zombies on the map aren't really too big of a problem. You just got to avoid them. So overall, the steps for the Easter egg, not too challenging, somewhat enjoyable. And the boss fight itself, if you choose to help Richtofen and fight S.A.M, pretty easy. So hope everyone enjoyed this video. And until the next one, peace.